So I think I'm having a beginning of life crisis. I am 22 years old. I live with my parents in my hometown that I have left 3 different times. I think I come to this coffee shop like every single day. It's the only coffee shop in the town where I live. And I don't know, life feels so fucking weird, dude. I tried the traveling thing when I was 18. I traveled across the US living out of a guy's car, which was like my biggest dream. I traveled the US making films and I felt so alive and it was adventurous and it was great. But I was broke, but I was living life. It was amazing. When I was 19, I moved back here after living, the best life ever. When I was 19, I moved back to my parents' house. Got super depressed for like 4 or 5 months. Didn't have any friends, so tried to make some friends. Finally made this whole documentary about trying to make friends in rural Oklahoma. Made some friends. And then I met these guys on the internet when I was super lonely. And they were in a place that I was before I traveled. And they were like stuck at their parents' house. And they wanted to see more of the world. And they wanted to see what life had to offer. So we all worked shitty jobs and saved up enough money to book a basement in Vineyard, Utah. And our 2 goals were to experience as much as possible, connect with as many new people as possible. And we did that, and we were dubbed the Basement Boys. And we made this whole documentary about it when I was 20. But then after all of that, I once again moved back home. Months and months went by, and once again I got super depressed. And I remember coming to this coffee shop every single day, just trying to plan and figure out a way out. I would DoorDash, I would do everything I can. It felt like I was just in this like cycle of just like, I would go experience life and then I'd come back to reality and I would spend my entire time here trying to save up money just so I could leave again. Well, the cycle repeats itself. I'm saving up money to leave. I don't know how I'm gonna leave, but in my head, I just promised myself I would move out for real this time. I had no credit. I didn't have a lot of money. And that summer, I actually fell in love with a girl. I could go on and on about that, but let's just say it's been 2 years and I still, not a day goes by, I don't think about it. It really affected me. And I didn't believe in love. I thought that shit was corny. I thought that shit was just in like fairy tales. Like I didn't believe that was a real thing. But that summer, I don't know, it was like a spiritual connection. I don't know how to explain it, but basically, yeah, I was super down bad for this girl, and I'd never felt that way about anyone, and it was super scary. And I went on a road trip with like her whole family that summer, and it was this beautiful, magical thing. Her parents offered me a job to stay here in Oklahoma for a year, which, again, I wanted to leave, and around the same time, somehow, I got this opportunity to live in Austin, Texas. Free rent. It's like an artist in residency program with my best friends that I lived in the basement with. And that was kind of like our plan, but like it was like the hardest decision of my entire life, whether to stay or go, because obviously I wanted to, go experience life and I wanted to be with Aaron and Cameron, reunite in Austin. But then also, sorry. I was faced with like the craziest decision ever, like in my life. Either stay with the girl I love, get paid to live here, or leave again and live with my best friends in a new city. And I know to some of you, the decision's like obvious. It's like, oh yeah, go plan what you originally had planned. Don't let a girl stop you. But mind you, I was in love with this girl. I had never felt anything like that, and I feel like my whole life I was just chasing this career. Like it felt like I was never enough. It felt like I always had to, it felt like I had to become this big thing to finally be enough. And with her, I felt like I was enough. So I don't know. Also, her parents were gonna pay me a shit ton of money to stay here, which I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, anyways, I left the decision to her because I genuinely didn't know if I'd make the right decision. And she wanted what was best for me, which she felt was in Austin. She felt like that's where I was meant to be. And deep down, I knew that's where I was meant to be. But still, one of the hardest things of my entire life, and she actually ended up ripping the Band-Aid off. She broke up with me, and yeah, I made this whole video about our whole relationship on a camcorder. I documented all of it, and times were a little rough, so I was gonna show it to her. She got really sick, and I was gonna show it to her, and then the day before we hung out, or the day before I was gonna show it to her, she sent me a text message that was 5 paragraphs long, and I knew what it was. My heart dropped. Anyways, literally not a week later, I found out I was moving it to a new place in Austin, so I'm packing my bags, and yeah, I felt like I was finally leaving here for good. It felt like this time felt different. It was okay, this isn't just going on another trip. I was packing all my bags. I packed my whole room up in boxes, and yeah, I was gonna live in a different city, which I didn't. I never thought I'd live in Texas. That's life. It's funny how life works out. You make all these plans, and then life takes you somewhere else. But anyways, so I moved to Austin. We lived in this house. It was only supposed to be for 3 months, but ended up being an entire year, and those were some of the best years of my whole life. I felt like I always had so much FOMO for the college experience. That was something I always wish I got, was the social aspect of college, since I never planned on going. But we happened to live on a college campus, so it's let's just say I got a role play as a college student for about a year, and it was great. We went to parties. I was living with my best friends. That honestly was my college experience. It was a year of college, basically. It was one of the best years of my entire life, and I turned 21. But also, throughout this whole year, as beautiful as it was, I also felt so lost sometimes. I would wake up and I didn't know what I was doing with my life. This situation that should have been perfect, I don't know, it was weird. I still wasn't. I felt like all these parties and all the things I was doing was just numbing my feelings. I was numbing how I felt, and I wasn't facing these feelings of the breakup, and I don't think I was healing while I was out in Austin. If anything, I was distracting myself from all these feelings I had. But sorry, there's a car. I don't know, I would just disassociate all the time to the point where life didn't even feel real, so I wasn't fully able to appreciate it. And I felt at some point or another, after all the partying and everything, I started numbing myself. And I think it was just because I was hurt so bad, and it was so hard to face that. So I was not healing while I was in Austin, if I'm being honest. If anything, I was just trying to distract myself from the pain, and I don't know, I went through kind of a dark path with that. But eventually our lease was up, and then I had to move back here. And my plan was to never move back. We're gonna get another place. And there was an opportunity to get another place, but for some reason I just felt it just didn't make sense. I was broke, I didn't have any money. It was it would have been worse to try to scrounge stuff together. So we all inevitably moved back. But about a month or two before I moved back, I got an opportunity to go on this road trip with the guy that I went on a road trip with when I was 18. Got my first ever sponsor. It was paid for, and I don't know, we went on this crazy road trip. And the entire road trip, all I could think about was just what's next for my life. It was a very introspective trip. All I was thinking about is how moving back home would have been the worst thing for me. How it would have destroyed me if I moved back here. And I was trying to figure out just what to do with my life. Also, there was this film I was working on at the time. I was trying to finish this documentary, and I was sacrificing my health and just time with friends trying to get it done while on the road trip, so that was super stressful. Eventually, I finished the documentary, I posted it, and this documentary I spent a year on while I was in Austin. That's all I was working on, was this documentary, which was about the first road trip I went on. Sorry, there's a lot of lore, but eventually the documentary, it got taken down on YouTube. And around the same time, I was told by someone close to me that I was not welcome at this event because I did not have enough followers or whatever, which is, it's stupid, but at the time there was just a lot of things happening. I hadn't fully healed yet. My self-worth was at a all-time low, and I don't know, all the shit I was going through, I realized it was a self-love problem. It wasn't that I wasn't working hard enough, it was that I gave all I could give, and I got burnt out. And I ended up moving back home again for the third or fourth time. I know that's not failing at my dreams. I understand that it's normal. In this economy you'd have to move back to your parents sometimes, but it felt like the physical embodiment of failing. Because I never planned on moving back. I'm moving all my shit back. I'm told I don't have enough followers. My documentary I just put my heart and soul into that was supposed to help move my career forward got taken down. Like, it felt like I just had nothing to show for the last year of my life, career-wise. Yeah, so then that kind of brings you to today. So I've been back with my parents for the last year. I am now 22 years old. And I don't know, I'm at this weird point in my life where, like, I feel like I blinked the last 4 years, like, disappeared. And, like, I look back and I have so much gratitude. And then, like, I feel like this weird path I've been on, I feel like every year was just, like, a different life. And I feel like it shaped me into the person I am now. And it was all so much change. And it was so important. But that being said, it's been this cycle where I always end up back here. And then I always try to leave. And I don't know, I started doing a lot of journaling, and I realized that I had a long journey of self-love, and that me saving up money to just leave again is just running away from my problems. And I don't know, I realized I don't want to be someone who just runs away from my problems. That being said, it's been a year, a really hard year, especially during winter. After being completely burnt out, I actually decided to give up on everything. And I don't know, I was not okay mentally. I was at the lowest point I'd ever been in my whole life. But with just ready to give up on my dreams, give up on everything. But despite all of that, I kept going. I kind of realized that whether this shit works out or not, I'm gonna be making stuff anyways, because that's just who I am. But after all these experiences, all the self-doubt, everything, I got to a point where I just got so scared of just opening up again and putting myself out there. And so now, after the whole year of being back, I'm at this weird point where it's like, okay, if I leave again, is that me running from my problems? But then if I stay, is that me hiding from my potential? Dude, I'm so fucking confused, because now it's like I stayed the year. I journaled, I put in the work to really move forward, and I promised myself, if I make it out of this rut, if I keep going despite all this shit, I'm gonna show up for myself this year. Like, no matter fucking what, I'm gonna show up every single day. And success to me this year wasn't a number on a screen or a number in my bank account. It was the fact that despite going through all of this, every day I'm still showing up. And even if it's just the tiniest bit possible, which I feel like I've been scared to do. But I'm at this weird point where it's like, I don't know, I started spiraling. This all started when I found out that in Tulsa, the city closest to me, which I've been driving to a lot to keep my sanity, like 3 times a week, they have this program where they pay you to live there. And the only requirement is you just stay there for a year. 1 year, that's it. And they'll pay you $10,000, which is crazy opportunity. I went to apply today. I thought about it. All you have to do is have a remote job, which, by the way, I have a remote job. I separated my income from my work. I've really put in the work to grow here, which I used to think was impossible. Like, I used to think you had to go on some crazy adventure. Like, my biggest fear was not living up to my fullest potential and just reverting back to an old version of myself being here. But I don't feel like that's happened. Even though, like, I feel like that is very scary. I don't feel like it's happened. But that being said, deep down in my heart and soul, I know I'm not supposed to live here, you know? Like, I'm not supposed to be here long term, because even though I'm still growing as, like, a human, and I'm healing, which is great, and there's no distractions here, also, I'm very aware that living on a farm, or even in Tulsa, is not benefiting me as much as if I lived somewhere else. There's not as much opportunity here as there is somewhere else, and I know that. So I'm at this weird fucking crossroads where I'm like, okay, do I stay another year? But then if I stay another year, what if that year turns to 2, then 3, and then I'm really living my, like, biggest fear, which is being stuck in this place. Because it's really easy to get stuck in life. Like, I talk to a lot of people a lot older than me, and they're like, yeah, you know, I used to be an artist too, and then, like, I moved here, and, you know, I was here for like a year, and all of a sudden I blinked, and like 5 years went by, and life happened, and now I'm 30 or 40, and yeah, I don't know, I'm working a corporate job. That's my biggest fear. And I know that. I've always known that. Okay. Apparently I have a lot of fears, but like that right there scares the shit out of me. And I don't want that to happen to me because I know it's easy. I know life happens. When I was younger, I did not understand this. Like, I never understood why people wouldn't just live the life that they wanted and just go for their dreams and take all the risks because, like, we're all going to die and it doesn't matter anyways. But then obviously life hit me after high school. 4 years after graduating, I look back at all of it and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, life will beat you down if you let it. Sometimes life just happens. Years go by and that shit just happens. And I understand that. And I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to get stuck. That is fucking scary. But this place, this healing, this staying and not running away from my problems, I'm scared that it's now turned into me hiding from my potential. I haven't really left or gone on any like crazy trips in like a year. And that used to be my whole life and I used to feel so alive doing it. And it just feels so weird being back here at 22 years old. Like I would be graduating college right now. Again, no regrets on the path I chose. I always knew the traditional route or whatever or normal was never for me in the books. I always knew that. I don't think I understood fully what that meant, but like I always knew that in my heart and soul, even as a kid. And I knew it wasn't gonna be easy, but holy shit. The hardest part is just not knowing what the fuck is next. Like I'm so confused. Like this path is so unpaved. And I know part of that's like exciting because it's like, oh, I get to choose exactly what my life looks like. That's amazing. That's a huge privilege. And I'm grateful for that. That's what I always wanted. But like moments like this where I'm just like, dude, do I go left or right? It's so confusing. So confusing. I know I want to make a movie here. Like I feel so called to make a movie here. And to make the movie here, I know I'm going to be here for at least like maybe half a year. I know I'm going to be here for at least another half a year. And make my movie because like that is something I have unfinished business here and I'm aware of that. And also like I want to leave something behind before I leave. I want to build a little community, a little space for, you know, younger artists, something that I wish I had here growing up. Like I want to leave something positive behind before I just like up and leave for good. So like I have my work cut out for me and I know there's things I need to do here. But even then, I still haven't gone on any like road trips or whatever. Like I feel like even though the road trips are kind of escaping your problems, I feel like that's the most introspective. I feel like that's when I feel the most alive and the most conscious. And like, I feel like those life decisions come a little easier because like, I'm just so like aware of everything. And it makes me think about everything. Here, it's easy to blink and years go by and without even realizing it. Because every day is like kind of similar, which I try to switch it up. I do a bunch of weird shit, but I'm going to be alone on this unpaved path the rest of my life. Whether it's here, there, anywhere. And like, I think coming to that realization and accepting that has been super important for me. And I'm still in the process of accepting what that means. Yeah, I guess it's going to be interesting to look back at because you only know what you know. And I do feel a lot of pressure from like society and fucking TikTok to like, I don't know, you know, your 20s are the best years of your lives and you got to be living them right. You got to travel the world or no, spend time with family or well, like there's just all these expectations that are being thrown at me to the point where my judgment is so clouded, like I don't even know what the right decision is. And maybe being here is good to like figure out what it is I truly want as a human, me, no one else, like what I want for my own life. I know I want to show up for myself. I know I want to throw my hat in the ring. I don't want to waste my potential, but I also know I don't want to live here my whole life or be stuck in some cycle. Life's weird, man. I also want to feel alive. That's huge. Like there's like this childlike spark that could kind of fades when you get older, and like I still have it. I realize it's definitely a little dimmer, but like I want to live. I want to truly live and experience. But then it's like, oh, you also need to make money in your career, but also we're all gonna die anyway. So, and I hear advice from older artists, and they're like, don't sell your soul to the corporate world for money. It's my biggest regret. I wish I just got a van and lived and made art and. Fuck, dude, it's so confusing. Life's so confusing. I don't know what it is. I just know I need to show up for myself no matter what. And I think that's posting online. Just making things and releasing them into the world. I think that's a big goal of mine this year. Because I make things all the time, but I never feel like they're good enough to release. And I'm just scared to really put myself out there. And then sometimes it feels pointless because there's a million people on the internet now. It's so oversaturated. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 12 years old, but like, there's kids that started a year ago, they're so much farther, and I don't know, I get in my own head a lot about it, but that's just dumb, and I think everyone provides their own unique value to the world, so I think I need to get over that. I need to build the habit of just releasing things. I think that would help me a lot, just creatively and career-wise, and just all of the above. I think that one habit of just releasing stuff, whether I think it's good or not, or whatever, whether I'm happy, sad, I think that would be good for me. I think that would open some more doors and options. But the problem is, it's not like I don't have the options. Like, I have this remote job, which when I was a kid, my dream was to just find a way to make a living and then travel and do all that. And technically, I can do that right now. I'm making a certain amount of money a month. I have a contract. I can do this job anywhere. And I've spent the last year at home, trying not to run away from my problems. But maybe it's not black or white. Like, maybe I can go on a road trip, remind myself I have free will and journal, and just, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need a damn solo road trip to really just journal, feel alive, figure out all of these thoughts, and then come back stronger, make my movie, and then just be open to whatever the hell's next. Maybe that's the answer. But, yeah, I don't know. Life is strange. I just don't want to blink and not be young anymore and then be like, oh, fuck, I missed my shot, I wish I did more. But I think it's a gratitude problem. I've done so much. I've done so fucking much, and I'm so grateful for every human I've crossed paths with, every memory, every place I've been. It's like, it'll never be enough, I think that's also why I chose to stay and just try to stay grounded, appreciate everything. It's like I got this itch, I got this urge to travel and see more things and keep living. But I also got the urge to start my film career and figure out my finances. My stepdad said he was really proud of me. Recently, he said I really grew into myself and that I was figuring it out, and that means everything to me, because I know this path I'm on is not a traditional one. It's very strange, and I think he sees that I've put in the work and I haven't left. But don't want to disappoint anyone, but sometimes you gotta do what's best for you, despite even people that you really care about wanting something different. I think I just need a damn road trip, bro. Like, I think that's what I need. I need a road trip. Okay, here's what I need. I think I'm figuring it out. I need a road trip away from social media with a journal and 3 bad bitches. No, I'm sorry. I need a solo road trip completely away from everything, just to process life with just a journal, no social media. And I need to release shit. I need to create shit without overthinking it and put it out into the world. Whether that's my second channel, TikToks, films, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. All of the above. I need to build the habit of releasing things into the world, and I need to go on a road trip to just clear my thoughts and figure out this next chapter of my life. I think those are the 2 things that would really help me get out of this, I guess, rut or these weird feelings. Also, gratitude. Appreciating where I've been and trust in the unpaved path before me of where I'm going. I think those are the things I need to figure out. But yeah, thanks for coming to my talk, and I'll see you later. Hopefully next time, not at this coffee shop that I come to every single day, every year of my life. My dream someday is gonna be to be as far away from this coffee shop as humanly possible. No hate on the coffee shop. It's a great coffee shop. Like, I swear, like, half my money goes here. Probably the best iced vanilla latte anywhere in the world. Shout out Jude's Coffee Shop. It's great. Great people. Got really close to them, but man, I don't want to be anywhere near here in the next 5 years of my life. Yeah. Well, I think that's a wrap.